Senator, we've all known, I call him our senator from Oconee County for a while, and I think that Cooper will agree that without the leadership of Senator Alexander and many others, we wouldn't have this opportunity today. I know a little something about health care in that I had to make a talk a day or two ago in Greenville, and I woke up the other 3 weeks ago with a heart attack. And so I know a little something about health care and the providers of health care. Fortunately, I'm old enough to be on Medicare, so it's a little different situation. I met Cooper Littlejohn a couple of years ago. He interned in Seneca with, first with Steve Nuttall, who's been in the health and life insurance investment business for a number of years. And so our offices are near one another, and so I met Cooper and later his sister and family. But I was amazed with him and listened to him as we were so close in our offices each day. And poor Steve would have to go out to small businesses throughout our community and throughout the state, and he would take Cooper, his intern, with him. And he would say to him, well, Cooper would say, where are we going today, Steve? And he said, well, we're going over to David Land's place of business. And said, David, I got to give him the sad news. His rates are going to increase for himself and his employees. And so that happened not one time, but many times in just that span of several weeks or so that Cooper was with Steve. And so Cooper decided there's got to be a better way. And in communication with Steve and other people in the health insurance industry, he discovered that, thank goodness to Senator Alexander and members of the legislature, that this bill had passed and it was the law in our state. Had never been done, and Cooper is not a young man to walk away from an issue. And he was convinced, after he studied the law, he studied all the health care issues, he met with several of the major health insurance companies that do business in South Carolina, and he decided on his own that there's got to be a better way, and he wanted to be a part of it. He comes from a very interesting family. His parents are here today. His sister's involved with him and assisted him a lot of the way in this process. But most of you who like sports, if you ever in the Southeast at a game, whether it's football or basketball in the case this weekend with Angie, the Littlejohn family they're either in the stadium or they're in the truck out there producing these things for television. So what you actually see on television is most of the time the brainchild of Cooper and his friends. He then came to work for me as an intern for a few weeks, and all he could talk about was, oh, Steve, he's really got a job over there with the health care thing. And so he kept getting more and more interested in what he wanted to do. He, at that time, was not yet a college student. He was going to Georgia Tech as a freshman when I met him. He's now a sophomore at Georgia Tech, and I'm proud to say he is extremely bright. He has a 4.0. He is in the business administration department and has brought with him a couple of his friends, Lane and Casey, who are students with him at Georgia Tech. His business group that he works with in Atlanta, they are assisting him in this, support him in this initiative, and he's worked tirelessly. In fact of the matter, and somebody asked, well, how in the world are you going to try to run this business at age 20? Well, he's got gray-haired people like me and Steve and some of the others to maybe help him a little bit along the way. But it was his tenacity, because the health insurance, the insurance department of South Carolina, this had never been done. Others had maybe thought about it. We've always said we have to get more people, the risk will move around and those kinds of things, I guess. But Cooper wouldn't let anyone tell him no for an answer. He wanted to make certain, and every time when he made changes, and he learned a lot through the process. So it's with a great pleasure that I think that this thing will go exceptionally well, if for no other reason. Wonderful people already around the state that Cooper has put together. He has folks out beginning to market, so he couldn't begin to market until he had the license, which just came, a few weeks or so ago. But the thoughts were being made, and so he's got folks in Charleston, he has folks in Columbia, he has up in our part of the world and around this state that already have scores of clients and scores of small businesses that they're working on and working with, including my wife's business and others who are quickly to want to sign up with this cooperative. It's a wonderful idea, thanks to the legislature, but more importantly, thank you for a young man who has a lot of brains and a lot of passion. He passionately wants to be able to help people in small businesses by getting the risk down and lowering insurance costs for the small business of South Carolina. It's my pleasure to introduce my friend, Cooper Littlejohn.